So I am going to try to explain the foodie beauty versus FFG situation the way that I remember it. And if I got some parts wrong, you guys correct me in the comment section. Thank you. So the way it started was that out of nowhere, foodie beauty shows up saying that she was in love with this guy who was an Adonis. Of course, it was El Stabby, uh, Corky as FFG calls him. And one day, while playing cards, showing a card trick, Beauty accidentally, I put accidentally in quotation marks, doxes his face, and everybody knew who he was. Upon getting his picture, people looked him up. FFG realized that her ex's friends or something like that knew who he was and learned that he stabbed his ex-girlfriend, including her cousin, and went to prison for 2 years minus a day. Upon hearing this, FFG reached out to Chantal to let her know, like, hey, he's not a good dude. Watch your back. This is what he did. But Chantal, I don't know what she was thinking. She went and told El Stabby, as Stabby denied it, and Chantal, of course, came on her live streams lying for him. At one point, she claimed that she saw his papers and nothing like that, his prison release papers. Nothing like that was mentioned in his prison release papers. While they're going back and forth, Chantal, again, she's infamous for this, in quotation marks again, accidentally doxes FFG's phone number. Not only did she give FFG's phone number to a so-called abuser, she also intentionally, I honestly think everything Chin does is intentional, doxes her phone number. So FFG was receiving harassing phone calls, threatening phone calls from El Stabby. This went on, I think, for days or like a week or so. That part is not important to me. But that's what happened. And you might wonder, like, how did these people know El Stabby? Well, I can explain that to you. Here we go. See, in certain communities, everybody knows everybody's business. FFG's ex, they were together for like 7-8 years or something like that, is from Morocco, and he was also part of the Muslim community. So is El Stabby. He's Muslim, part of the Muslim community, and they're very tight-knit. I know some people in the Western world don't understand this, but actually it is a real thing, including myself as an African, very tight-knit community, so I can see how this happens. For an example, I would be out grocery shopping or running errands, and I would get random people coming up to me and saying, hey, your parents are so-and-so. And at first it bothered me, but it doesn't bother me anymore because that's how the community works. They're always exchanging each other, family members' photos. So slowly everybody knows everybody without meeting them. That's how it works. Like, I know for some people in the Western world, it's hard for them to grapple with that, but that is a thing. So to me, it wasn't shocking that even though FFG didn't know him personally, that people, since she was with her ex for 8 years, people that she got to know knew of El Stabby. To me, that wasn't shocking. I know some people will be asking too many stupid questions about that, but that's as simple as that answer. Very tight-knit communities. So, anyways, moving on. With the back and forth and the back and forth, again, since Chance already doxed El Stabby's face, people went online and they found him on several dating sites. And I think she met El Stabby from Plenty of Fish. And that's how they were able to obtain his photo. But anyways, later on, people started digging. In Canada, you cannot just easily get somebody's record. It came out to light that what FFG was telling Chance was actually true, even though her friend might have gotten some of the details wrong on where his ex was stabbed, which was like not that important. But to Chance, she tried to use that to discredit FFG as a liar because she didn't get the right position where El Stabby stabbed these two people, which is like was mind-boggling to me as watching this, because I was like, ma'am, it doesn't matter if she got the details wrong where he stabbed them. He stabbed two people and went to prison for 2 days minus a year. So some people might wonder why he didn't go to prison for longer. Since he was in Canada on a refugee status, I believe his declaration was that he was afraid to return back to Egypt because he might be unalived. I don't know what was the dealings there, but that's how I was able to stay in Canada. So basically, that is where the bad blood was born. And from the looks of it, Chantal never really got over the fact that FFG was right, even though she tried to discredit her by saying that she was lying because of where the people were stabbed. She's a liar because of that. So she's been pissed off that nobody believed her or her little story that she was trying to spin. In her part, I think that made her even more angrier that FFG knew this. And even though FFG tried to be discreet about the whole situation to let her know privately, but Chantal, she thought she had a leg up, she needed a storyline, so she used this, and she made a lot of money off of it because everybody, it was like thousands and thousands of people in her live stream to watch this whole thing. And on my other thought is that since El Stabby and Chance were just starting to see each other, A, he didn't want that to be out there, and B, he was already afraid of losing his big well. What I mean by his big well, I'm using it as a reference into gambling. Like the big spenders in the casino that call it as a well. Well, Chance was his well because the first night that they met, she paid him money to stay in bed with her so he didn't have to go to work. And ever since then, he never returned back to work, and she offered to pay for his rent. And as we saw that whole entire arc, not only did she pay for his rent, she paid for every single thing. So why would El Stabby risk losing his well? So now I know some people are gonna say, well, she cow-tipped, she shouldn't have done that. Honestly, on this one, I think she did the right thing. Goodness forbid that something actually happened to Chance. I could not, if I knew the information and did not pass it on, even though the way it turned out, I couldn't live with myself. And I imagine that's the reason why FFG reached out to Chance to warn her about El Stabby. So basically, that is the shortened version of how these two ladies became arch nemesis on the YouTubes. And that's my shortened version of the whole situation.